Hi guys, Justin Van Fleet from Justin Van Fleet Design doing our weekly Saturday live at noon from the front porch. We're down here in Valdosta, Georgia, and thank goodness today's the first day that I have talked to you guys since we started this. That is not 100 plus degrees. We have a nice cloudy day, summer day down south. So today we're gonna wait a couple minutes and I'll introduce the product. But today we're gonna take these really cool flower pots that we bought years ago from Lowe's, but they just look beat today. Well, we don't have to go out and spend $40 for another one. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna use some Dixie Belle Blue, some buttercream, some hammered copper, green patina, and black gilder's wax to take something from a zero basically to a hero. Do we have anybody on yet?
Haiti is watching. Haiti Maldonado, and we have 5 on.
Okay. So, we'll wait a couple more minutes.
Gretchen says hey from Savannah.
Hi from Savannah, Gretchen. We've already cleaned this piece off. We just used some water, then we went over lightly and kind of sanded off the lifted up painted pieces. But this used to be really pretty when I bought it. It didn't look like it does today. And unfortunately, we already have some bulbs planted in here that I'm not really going to take out. So I'll show you how you can leave the product in there and still come out with a nice look. So we all have these laying around our house, every single one of us. It's laying around our house, laying around our porch. It's just a fact of life that you buy them and then they start looking awful.
Sherry says hey from Cartersville, Georgia.
Oh, hi. We got a couple Georgia people on. So we're using Dixie Belle Blue today. You can buy any of these products that I have listed that I just showed you guys from our www.dustinvanfleetdesign.com website. Spend over $50 and get same day shipping and free shipping. So it's a pretty cool thing. It's launched. It's done really, really well. Before we start, also want to remind you guys, up on the header on the Facebook page, don't forget about our Bells and Bow tour that we have going on. Go to www.bellsandbowtour.com. Again, I have that link listed for you up in the heading of the live that we're doing. We're going to Edison, New Jersey, Sunday, November 3rd, and January 18th, 2020, we will be having the Atlanta show. So your choice. We are not announcing any new dates as of this time. Lots and lots of people want it in their backyard, but we got to fill these classes up and move forward from here. So help support us. Get these things filled up, and the faster we fill them up to a certain point, then the faster we can release another date to you. I know in Edison, New Jersey, there are literally probably 5 or under tickets that are the pre-tickets, the lesser expensive
Early bird.
tickets.
Early bird.
The early bird tickets. I have a brain fart there. And we just announced Atlanta a short time ago, so I know you still have time to get the early bird tickets in Atlanta. And remember, in New Jersey, our guest teacher will be Brandy of Brushed by Brandy, and then in Atlanta, it's going to be Kristana Kassan. So the guests are going to be awesome. So I would recommend, if you love painting, if you have a business, if you're a female who just likes to do it, if you're a male who likes to do it, if you do it part-time, if you do it full-time, come out and see us and we'll help you get to that next level. Remember, we're always going to ease nicely into this project now, but we're always going to wet our brush Although it's a small project, I told you guys I'm obsessed with this brush, and I'm for real obsessed with it. So we're just gonna come around here. And I'm gonna get the top first just because I gotta get this little lip, and then I'll go straight to the bottom and figure that out. Remember, we're just looking for a thin first coat. That's like the number one thing with people who buy from me and they come in and they were like, it didn't really do what I wanted it to do. They put on way too much paint. So you want to be able to see through it. This is the way I do it. I want to be able to see through my first coat. And then we're going to do this little tiny inner lip here. And we're not going to go inside of it because I'm going to add some more dirt and a few pebbles. And when these things come up next spring, they are going to look rockin'. They're lilies of the valley, so they're all white, and they just last a very, very short period of time, but they're still super cool and an old southern plant that I'd never get rid of, and they were original to the house when we got it, so they've been around for about 107 years, so they aren't going anywhere. I remember I've told you guys before, if by chance you have a stray brush, hair, or something in it, this is your first coat, like, don't worry about it. We will have time to lightly, finely sand it and all that good stuff. If you can get it off easily, cool. If you can't, it's not the end of the world. So I'm gonna set this thing down. I'm not gonna do the bottom because we all know this thing's gonna get watered all the time. So we're not gonna actually like do the actual bottom. We're gonna go down to the bottom. I'll get over there, John. I was just doing this one first. We'll just lift up and we'll go all the way down to the flat bottom surface. But again, we're not really looking to paint the bottom. It makes no sense. And we all have these things laying around. Like, I mean, I'm not the only person. This is one reason I have nothing against anybody doing any live that they want, but I personally can't stand to see another 3-hour tutorial on a gigantic piece of furniture that takes days to complete and everything. It's just, I'm trying to show you guys practical applications around your house. The first time that you play with Dixie Belle, you're not going to do your mom's most prized piece of antique furniture. So you need things like this to learn off of and get good with. See, we're not using a ton of paint at all. We'll just come and we'll put our hand in here and we'll just hold it. And we can really feather this. This Dixie Belle blue is stunning, but I haven't had an opportunity to use it yet. So I was really excited about this opportunity to bust out some Dixie Belle blue because I've wanted to use it forever, but I just haven't had the right project to use it on. So you see it covers very well. We're not looking for great coverage on the first one because we know for a fact we're gonna have to do a second coat. So we're not even like playing that game, but a lot of times if you pick similar colors, like I did in this case, this is a blue going over a different darker shade of blue, you can get really, really good coverage with only one coat because you're staying in the same color family. Now if we tried to cover this navy blue and cotton in one coat, it's not happening. We got any question? Anybody saying hey?
A lot of people are saying hi, hey from Baltimore, from Illinois.
Hi guys. And we just do our lives a little bit different. Remember, I know you're all here. I'm being filmed, I'm not actually looking at it. So if I don't give you a shout out and you gave me a shout out, it's not because I don't appreciate you, because I appreciate every single person who tunes in. It's because I'm trying not to stop every 5 seconds. But I love hearing from you guys and where you're from. But I also love to keep the pace up because I know what most lives are like, and I know what to me is getting a little bit stale and not so fresh anymore, and I don't care about seeing every 5 seconds. So I'm trying to like freshen it up for you guys, stay on topic, tell you guys what you need to know, have a little fun with you as well.
Aviance mentions that she's really here for the waffles. And she says this color goes great with the cushions in the background.
Yes, it does. It's really like one of those cool colors that if you're a color person and you're popping color, as you guys well know, I'm really into color, texture, pattern, all that good stuff. So it's one of those great colors. I haven't really used this one on the front porch. We have lots of limeade, flamingo, and amethyst. But she's exactly right. This is gonna look phenomenal.
Okay, Wanda says hi from California.
Hi.
And Sherry has a question. Did you prep the outside of the pot first?
I did. I actually just cleaned it off and then lightly sanded it. I didn't want you guys to have to go through that torture with me. It took all of 5 seconds to do. But literally I sprayed it down and I got all the excess gunk and goo off of it. We're done with that, John, and we'll come up here because we just got to let it dry for a second. So I cleaned it down with my spray bottle. I wiped it down. Then I came back and I sanded it because it had some flaking paint. Then I came back and sprayed it down and wiped it down again. The entire process for getting ready for this project, because I like texture. A lot of people want their paint to be ultra smooth. I think that defeats the purpose of, for me personally, of chalk paint, because the entire purpose of chalk paint is to not look like latex paint. And when you start getting it too perfect and it doesn't have that chalk paint look to it, to me there's no purpose. I buy this stuff and I sell it because I believe that it gives you the best antique look in the business, and I don't want a fake made in China look.
Jane says hi from Washington State.
We got people from all over.
Yes, and we have another question. Do you have white lightning in the spray bottle?
Do I have it in the spray bottle? Not this one. I do have a spray bottle that does have white lightning in it, and that's for more furniture type pieces. On this one I plan to paint it and really seal the heck out of it, guys, because I know it's going to have watering cans dumping water all over it. So nothing underneath will ever see the light of day on this by the time I'm done sealing it. So, but if I were doing a nice piece of furniture or something other than a flower pot that I wanted crustiness and texture on, yeah, you can use white lightning and you will be shocked. My good friend Kristana, who's going to be our guest in Atlanta, she kind of was like me, and we weren't really like huge believers. It wasn't that we weren't believers in the product, but we were like, we don't need this. Then she showed me a bucket after she used it on a piece that she bought that she had already cleaned, supposedly. It was disgusting. I mean, it was like pure brown. It looked like sewer water, and the piece was not something that was left in a barn for the past 60 years. I mean, she already had it at the point where it looked like it could be painted and then put the white lightning on it. It was crazy. So although I told you it's not super hot, it's still hot enough for Dustin to sweat constantly. So bear with me while I mop myself up and try to look decent for you guys. So we've got a coat on here. It's drying pretty quickly, just around the ornate part. And we're going to show you how we can make these pop, all kinds of cool stuff today. But I mean, you can literally buy this for $39.95, or you don't need the 16 ounce for this. You could buy a little 8 ounce. I just have the bigger sizes because I do a lot of projects. So you could spend money on the little 8 ounce. I am going to use a corresponding color in buttercream. You don't have to. You can pick one of these. I'm going to show you how I would do it and trick it out. And then I'm going to seal it with a polyacrylic on this one because I know it's going to take a lot of weather and all of that good stuff. Also, I have been lazy, and the last time that I was here I told you that I was out of my gator hide, and I did not go back to the store. So I am guilty of being evil and running out of gator hide and not going back to my store and getting some more gator hide. So now I have to use this. So pretend like this min wax right here says Dixie Belle gator hide on it, because they're both polyacrylics. They're both water based products and everything. So that's just for me to make me feel better. Let's pretend like the min wax that I have to use today really is Dixie Belle. So we're gonna come back around here and we're gonna do what we did in the very beginning. And we're just gonna give it a thin guys, not thick. Like I said, this is the #1 mistake with beginners. Oh hey, I used an entire jar on this flower pot. Girl, you did something wrong. You used to eat it. I mean, like when you get experience with this stuff, my friend Pam and I, Pam Haskins of 44 Marketplace, we'll sit up late at night sometimes and we'll talk and dish to each other and all that stuff. And we were laughing one night because we're like comparing, and Pam is like, oh honey, I've gotten a dresser and 2 nightstands out of 1 8-ounce. So once you become experienced with this, you can make 1 jar go a long way. Pam also sprays, so that helps out a little bit. But even if you're hand painting, you can make 1 jar go forever. And I love how we just like share it forward and pass it forward in this industry, because Pam has helped me from the day that I joined Dixie Belle. She's been with Dixie Belle a little bit longer than I am. I've been with them a long time, but she's been with them even longer. We hit it off from day one. We have a special relationship where we like to poke fun at each other, but really we love each other.
You have a question?
Yeah.
How do you decide when to moisten the piece between coats or not?
I keep my brush moist, period. This is not enough of a surface area to really suck up all the water yet. So you know when your brush starts dragging and it starts feeling kind of like you have to work to pull it. Dixie Belle should go on like butter. And when it doesn't feel like it's going on like butter, and when you're having to pull it and it feels kind of dry, just add a little bit more water and you'll be golden.
We have a question, just curious, would this work on a wicker rocker that sits protected but outside?
Yes. I have done wicker. Now, one thing about wicker is hand painting it can be challenging because it has so many little nooks and crannies and all that. But I have hand painted it myself. After the last time of doing it, I said that I would never do it again. So I would suggest, if you're gonna do that, spraying the Dixie Belle. Now, if you want a piece that I just did, I didn't mind if some of the wicker was showing through because it was a piece that I didn't want to be painted perfectly, then you can totally do it. If you want it to be all one color and really, really pristine, then I would suggest spraying it because there's so many nooks and crannies.
Bobby says, good morning from Oregon.
Good morning. This is why I do noon, because it's okay for the East Coast, it's okay for Central, and it's okay for Pacific. It's not too early for you guys yet. And that's a big thing. We have a lot of West Coasters. So I always try to make it where you guys are included. Now again, when I paint, I'm really looking for an antique hand-painted look. I am not looking for perfection. That's not why I play with this stuff. It's not my style. Everybody has a different style, and there's nothing wrong with seeking flat perfection and smoothness and everything. But when I do stuff, I want it to have that cottage character that I really, really like personally.
Debbie says hi from Central California, and Heather says hello from Dothan, Alabama.
Oh, awesome. So we got a lot of Westerners on here, Midwesterners on here, Southerners on here. Great mix. So on this particular color, it's so bright and vibrant. We're probably going to have to do a little third coat. It's going to be okay. I also kind of like, for your sake, because I like to keep it going, I rushed the second coat a little bit. I could have let it dry a little bit longer. But it's really, really hard to make mistakes with this stuff. That's what I'm really trying to show you guys. And once you get this base portion done, that's when we get to the fun. That's when we really start embellishing it and making it look beautiful. And on the inside, it looks like, why in the heck does he just have a bunch of dirt in there? But they're bulbs that come up just in the spring and literally for just like a week. So we've got to look at this ugly thing before I painted it all year long for 1 week or 2 weeks worth of beauty. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna make this thing look pretty, because I'm like 50 weeks out of the year we have to look at this, and it's just not happening for me. I wasn't feeling it.
Pamela says hi from Charlotte,
Hi, Pamela.
North Carolina.
So we've used Dixie Belle Blue, and we put our second coat on. And actually, I don't think we will need a third coat. It's looking awesome. Remember, put your cap back on your paint when you're not using it, or if you're going to take a break. It's crucial that you do so. It just keeps thickening while you have the cap off. So if you leave it off accidentally, and you're like, oh damn, I left for 2 hours type of thing, just go inside, take a teaspoon of water or a tablespoon, whichever you'll need. Depends on the thickness. If it's really, really thick, use the bigger. If it's just a little bit thickened, use the smaller of the two, and just put in a tablespoon or a teaspoonful, stir it around, and you'll get your normal consistency back. Another thing I hear people, there's a certain blue that Dixie Belle makes. Paint blue, yes. When you buy it, it typically comes thick. And I have a video on this on my page, so you guys can just go to my Dustin Van Fleet Design Facebook page and look up the video where I'm in my kitchen showing you guys. It will come thick. It's not this color, it's paint blue. I don't know what it is about the pigmentation or anything like that, but people buy it, they take the lid off of it, they say it's really thick, they think we've sold them something like bunk or bad that is awful. Just take, again, 1 tablespoon or a teaspoon at a time and stir until you get the consistency that you want. It will not have anything to do with the quality. There are certain colors that are just thicker than other, and then you'll get other colors that are really, really soupy type thing. If it's a super, super soupy color, like cotton is very thin, leave the lid off for a little while and let it kind of thicken type thing. But none of this is bad where the product is bad. And John, you can stay on this. I forgot to get my drink, so I will be right back. And here I am. We're just letting this dry a little bit. I love chippy and I love crusty. So I don't put too many coats of paint on. It's just like not my thing. So I'm thinking with this we've got, I'm gonna bust out my black, which again, these look like makeup. It's almost like a little makeup thing. Gilder's wax. You open it up. You can tell I've used a lot of it. So we're gonna come on here while it's still drying, and I just use my finger. And I wanna like draw some attention to this detail work that's on here, which I could do last, but I really am doing it this way because I want to seal it in there type thing. I know it will seal itself, but I really want this to stay and be a part of my pea and not have to be reapplied or anything. So everybody just has their, that's like the big thing with this stuff. Everybody has their own way of doing it, and nobody's wrong and nobody's right, and it's just certain things. They're not wrong or right, but I mean, once you've seen something 4,500 times, in my opinion, it's kind of like run its course type of thing. And I don't like to see the same buffet being painted by 1,400 different people in a different way. But that's just me. I kind of have some of my own ideas that I want to use on it, and I love seeing their methods and techniques, but I also like showing you guys something that we can finish within the hour, that you feel instant gratification on, and that you have laying around your house. What you don't have laying around your house is like a $3,000 piece that you're like, oh, hi, I'm gonna go down and buy Dixie Belle and paint an antique piece that I just bought for $3,000 or something. You're also not professional pickers, a lot of you, so you just don't have the resources to get the things that some of the girls and some of the guys are getting. So I try to use real things that you have actually sitting outside of your house.
Abby says hi.
Hi.
And she's glad to see you on here, Dustin Van Fleet.
Thank you. So we're just coming through here, and we're just aging the little balls that are on there. So we're giving it a little bit of detail. We're still not dry in one little area here. And I'm gonna come around here. I'm just gonna carefully come around. And age this up a little bit just to make it look old. Just because we're painting it right now does not mean that we have to admit to anybody that it's new or freshly painted. That is like my hallmark of a job well done. At the end, when I'm done, if I can look at that piece and say, wow, that looks like it's been that way for years, I know I did my job well. If I look at that piece and I'm like, that looks brand new and like you just threw paint on it, to me, just personally, that's not what chalk paint's all about, to look like a new, fresh paint job was just put on it. So we're starting to age it out a little bit.
Sharon is telling you you're brightening her day because it's pouring rain in Chicago.
Chicago. I love Chicago. Lived there for 5 years. My favorite city in the entire planet Earth, other than November, December, January, February, March, April, and May. So we're going to come back now, and now we're using a different Gilder's paint. Now we're using the hammered copper Gilder's paint. I just want to put a little bit less. But I just want to kind of like murky it up a little bit. Again, to kind of make it look old. We're not looking for perfect circles or dot. We're just applying like however. And we're not getting rid of our black. We just have the ability to layer products with Dixie Belle, which is really fun. And it's the awesome thing about this line, that you can just layer everything on top of everything. You don't have to do something huge to trick it out. That's another thing that people are not seeing. You don't have to do a buffet to do my style or Tracy's fancy style or Brandy's blending. So you can do something small that you can actually like not spend a week on or something of that nature, but it does not have to be huge. Okay, We got a little bit of that on there. We got a little bit of the black on there. But you know, like, I mean, I'm kind of like a freak of pattern and stuff. So, I see, to me, these represent polka dots. So, we're gonna bust out some of our daubers. These are well-used daubers. I should show you a dauber that's not so well-used. That one's like a new dauber right there. They create the perfect polka dot. So you're just gonna shake our buttercream. We're not ever gonna dip into the actual buttercream. We're just gonna use from the lid. These are not stencils, so I'm not gonna pounce off everything like I have in the past 2 weeks. We're gonna like load up nicely. We were using stencils at that point. Now that's loaded up a little bit heavy, so we can get rid of that. And then I'm gonna come here on the top. Oh, let me see. I'm gonna go to the midway point of the little balls that are built in to this piece. And this is what I always tell people, like, I mean, this stuff just doesn't come to you. I mean, the piece just kind of comes to life on its own. I don't pre-plan this stuff and like, oh, well, I'm gonna then put dots here. I mean, we're kind of going as I'm going with you. I literally create with you guys. It's coming to my mind as we do it.
Debbie has a question. Is a pot plastic or terracotta?
It is not terracotta or plastic. It's that new lightweight resin, you know? It's that stuff that looks like it would weigh 75 pounds when you buy it from Lowe's, and it looks like the real terracotta or the concrete, but really it's not. Okay, so we're starting to make this thing like actually really kind of cute, if I do say so myself. But I'm still not there, and I'm just not feeling it totally. So we're gonna come with a different size dauber, a little dauber. And in this little dauber, we're gonna come. We're gonna go a little bit higher than we were before. We're gonna create an inner ring pattern. And as you see, each week I show you guys like just how quickly you can use Dixie Belle to make a major impact on something. I mean, what we started with was ugly, no offense, but I mean, I know it was mine and I bought it, but it was years ago and it's hideous, no? Okay, so now Dustin's starting to get his vibe going, because anybody who knows me, some of you guys don't know me that well, but anybody who knows me knows I like a lot of pattern and texture. So, we're gonna pull this thing up now. And I'm just looking to see. I'm kind of enjoying that, but I'm thinking that we need to complete this pattern by also pulling a row down. Now these can be a little bit tricky to work with. As you see, I'm freehanding a lot of it, but in the beginning you'll need to practice, so just get a little board or something and practice. And I did not, you lose focus on these sometimes. So you kind of lose where you were. It's not a big thing. Come back in, add a few in. Nobody will ever know that you lost focus for a second. It's just when you're dealing with dots, they're very, very simple too.
We have a question. Is it raining here in Georgia? No, it's not.
It is not right now. It's cloudy, but it is not raining.
And
Also, go ahead.
we have a comment on your puppy is adorable.
Thank you. That is Bandit. He is adorable, and unfortunately, like, he knows that he's adorable, so. So he's goofy, and he always wants to make a cameo live. So when you have smaller spaces like this, you can use this smaller dauber. When we go into a larger space like here, we really don't want like 10,000 different dots. So we're going to use the larger one, and we're going to create a larger pattern. So let me start back here, John, and then we'll work our way forward.
Okay.
Let me just get this initial pattern going, guys. And after I get it down pat, I will bring it for you guys to see. But as I said, I create with you guys on the fly. This is not how he planned it out in advance and blah, 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 because he didn't. So a lot of times when I create on the fly, I'll ask you guys for 1 second, just so that I can get my rhythm down on it. And now we're coming around. You're just eyeing it, really. You're not looking for perfection. Again, this is hand painted, this is whimsical. Whimsical is not about, ooh, that's perfect. You just have to focus. So if the kids are around or anything at this point, this is when you tell them, bye, mama or daddy has to focus. And it ended up perfect. So we're just kind of taking something that really wasn't a whole lot of fun, and by the time we're done with it, it's going to be a lot of fun. So we kind of muddied up the top one with the black, the band around here. So there's a band around the bottom too. Maybe, if we can get her. I think this did this last time too. The hammered copper does not want to come open. So now we've got this one. I'm just going to lightly come around with my finger. And start highlighting this one.
Sherry Marie says hi, Dustin and John.
Hi, sure. That's old school. Sherry goes back to St. Pete with us, like when we were there. She's like one of our first customer ever. She goes way pre-Dustin Van Fleet design. She's going back to like Funk Living and all of that good stuff when the store had that name. So we appreciate her a great deal. She's been with us for years. I don't care that I'm getting out of line a little bit because, again, I think it gives it character. And I really enjoy that whole like hand-painted Mackenzie Childs type vibe. Mackenzie Childs is also not about perfection. You look at their pieces and they're thousands of dollars and they're not perfect because they're hand-painted. They're not worried about them being perfect. So we've got that and that. And we got the black. We've got some green. So then I will come back and try to reopen this now. Because I thought I was done with the copper, but I'm not. All of these whimsical projects are all about adding little details that people will say, you're stupid for adding. They'll be like, why are you taking up your time doing the inner ring of this? Because it's gonna look good when I'm done. That's why. And I'm all about details, and whimsical is all about details. Look at how far we've made this crusty thing that we've started with come. And it has not really been that long. I also love having John behind the camera because I get to show you guys close-ups and everything that other people don't when they just like put the camera, set it up, and they've just got to do their live. I have a live cameraman with me. We're doing that one. Then I'm going to come in and not make it all, but just kind of highlight it a little bit on this inside lip. That's another misconception too. A lot of people think whimsical means juvenile. It does not have to mean juvenile. You can create something whimsical that is extremely sophisticated. Sometimes when I come back and I look at these dots, they're not exactly how I want them to be. So I'll just come back and repress. On this one, I think there were only 3 that I repressed on here. So we're gonna close up our white paint. We're gonna let this bad boy dry for a second. And again, we're gonna tell you about a couple cool things that we have going on. We have got our new website that's only been up for the past month, DustinVanFleetDesign.com. It has a premier selection of Dixie Belle. You can buy every single one of the products that you want, anytime you want, and $50 or more, you get free shipping, same day shipping, and a chip brush thrown in from me. We also have the Bells and Bows tour going on while this is dry. Bells and Bow tour is going to show you how to take your basic skills, whether they be business skills, painting skills. It's going to show you how to take those skills to the next level. There's an amazing lineup of myself, Fiona DeBell, Heather Marzigliano, Pam Haskins, Dodson Design. Our guest for New Jersey is going to be brushed by Brandy. Then all of us again in Atlanta, and our guest will be Kristana, of Bello Renovare. So, I mean, it's going to be an amazing time, an amazing experience. You guys can come, you can hang out with us in the hotel the evening before, the evening after, and you want to be helpful and say like, hey guys, I'm here the night before. Do you need any help? We're not going to turn you down, and you get to hang with us. If you don't want to help, we're still going to hang with you and share some drinks. We just have some stuff that we have to do to get ready the night before. But yeah, it's going to be an amazing experience. We're so happy to be able to bring something very similar to the Dixie Belle Retailers Conference in February across the nation. It's an experience where we all met each other and we all had like such a fantastic time that we created what I'm calling lifelong friendships like you would in college. And it's led to this and other business opportunities for all of us. We're all thick as thieves and tight as can be. So
I have a question.
it's been an amazing experience, yes.
How do you clean your brushes? Mine are not cleaning well with Dawn and water.
Let them soak. Like this one, I forgot to bring my little bowl of water. That would have made it super easy when I was ready. Take this, put it in a bowl of water, let it sit for about a half hour, 45 minutes, then use your Dawn and warm water. A lot of times when it gets nasty, you gotta let it sit for a little while in the water. Chalk paint will loosen up with water, so that'll do it for that. Same thing with these guys. Like, I'll wash them off as well. So now we are ready to put the sealer on. I used this for a while, so I think. So let me see here. Thin, guys, very thin. You're not looking to drip it all over and all that good stuff. Super thin. You're sealing it in and you're adding your color. Deepening your color, I should say. But thin. Just like the chalk paint. I see people literally gobbing this stuff on and they're like, I know I have runs all over and it's not working for me like it works for you. Super thin. See how easy it is for me to work with when I'm not working with much? We'll come in here because we want to save this part as well. Just this little lip that we do.
Question is, what sealer are we using?
Okay, so I went over this a little bit earlier, but I know not everybody was here. We use Dixie Belle Gatorhide. I was lazy this week and I ran out of Gatorhide, so right now I'm using polyacrylic from Minwax. It's not something that I use frequently, but I'm out of the other, and I didn't want to tell you guys, oh hey, we're not going to do a live because I don't have Gatorhide. So let's pretend like my Minwax polyacrylic is really Dixie Belle Gatorhide, because that's what I use 99.9% of the time. And it works very well for me. And you put it on the exact same way. So just to humor me, you guys pretend like this is Gatorhide. And if anybody asks, just be like, oh yeah, you put on Gatorhide. We're gonna seal all the goodness in. And you change your color, you make it a lot richer and more beautiful when you seal it. So Dixie Belle does not have to be sealed, but then you're gonna get a chalky, dry color. If you seal Dixie Belle, which this is gonna have watering cans and storms that come up on the porch and everything, so I need to seal it. But if you're doing an indoor piece, you don't have to seal Dixie Belle. It will cure in 30 days and you'll be good to go. I just really enjoy the color that you get, the deep, rich color that you get when you do seal it. We're not using a ton. We're taking most of it off before we even apply it.
How many coats of sealer are you using?
On this one, because it's not going to be a heavy use project, I'll probably put 2 on here. If it's something that you're a picture frame or something that you're not going to touch a lot, you can put 1 on, just for the look. If it's something that you're going to use a lot and heavily, then I always suggest 2 or 3 thin coats. We did not paint the bottom, the very bottom down here. There is no reason to paint the bottom. It's gonna take all kinds of like abuse. He kicked around the porch and all that good stuff, so there's no real purpose to paint the bottom. Nobody's gonna see it. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, your pieces don't come out perfect, like so and so. My style is not to be perfect. If I were looking for perfect, I totally know how to achieve that look. And I totally know how to sand it out and make it look perfectly smooth and everything. That's not really what I'm going after. I always go after that real farm fresh, rusty, crusty look. But right now we've got a beautiful Tiffany blue, pretty much, with some white accents, some copper on there, some black as well. It's looking really cool. I'm loving it. I want to come back here with you guys and actually see. Yeah, it looks really awesome. We started out with something really ugly that needed a lot of help. And if you come back after you've sealed it like this, and if you find that you want to add some more black gilder's wax or some more copper that we put on there, just let this all dry up, and you can totally add some more on top. Leave it for 45 minutes and it will dry. I just wanted the initial to seal in there because I knew this was going to take a lot of sun and rain and stuff like that. It's not left outside, but it's on a porch.
Ellen says, hey.
Hi, Ellen. So, we've got that one done. You guys saw what it looked like to begin with. It was some navy blue thing with half the paint flaked off of it. It was kind of scary. We've got some awesome bulbs in here, like I said. They only come up for 2 weeks during the spring. I think Lily of the Valley is what they're called. So we needed to make this pretty for the other 50 weeks in the year. Now, we ran out of gator hide, so we made do with some Minwax polyacrylic. I use gator hide on everything, so if you guys are asking me, buy the gator hide. It comes in an 8 ounce, a 16 ounce, 32. You can get it in any size that you want. Works super well, works the exact same way as this that I just put on. They're both water-based polyacrylics. Water-based and polyacrylic means that it will not yellow. Polyurethane is not water-based and it's oil-based, and it will take your beautiful white pieces and turn them yellow. So do not use polyurethane unless that is the look that you're going for. You always want to use, like our gator hides, it's a polyacrylic and it's water-based. Polyurethane, no. I can show you something that was done with polyurethane ages ago in the future, and that beautiful white turns like almost like smoke or nicotine yellow, like that thing. And that's just what it does. But recently we've actually created products that are water-based that don't yellow your project. So again, we used our Dixie Belle Blue on the body. We used our buttercream on the polka dots. We used some black gilder's wax. We used some hammered copper gilder's wax. Your finishes are all about the brush that you use. We have the awesome synthetic Dixie Belle brushes on our website, DustinVanFleetDesign.com. This will determine how your project looks. So we always use a quality brush. Then we came back for larger polka dots and used the dauber. Smaller polka dots used the smaller dauber. So I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I know this was a quick and easy project, but I wanted to do something that we all had laying around our yard. And like I said, more power to all the people who want to do the huge pieces and everything, but I've seen enough for a lifetime and we need some creativity. So I'm thinking next week at some point in time, Billy and Ellen Owings, who are sponsors of the Bells and Bow Tour with Sinopoly, and they're actually sponsoring my class, in which you guys don't know about yet, but it's awesomeness. And Billy and Ellen actually gave the project that we're going to work to the tour, created it for us custom for me. It's also going to be combined with some D-Lawless hardware, some Dixie Belle paint, and some Prima redesigned stencils. So I totally forgot where I was going with this entire story. But oh yes, next week's project. I'm sorry. See, that's what happens when you're creative. Oh, it's just in one ear out the other. But Billy and Ellen, I ordered from them this really cool octopus. So I'm thinking that we're gonna like trick it out, and maybe I'm gonna do something really funky with the octopus cutout. But I'm thinking the octopus cutout is coming up next week, and if it's not, then it's coming up the week after that. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.